Bloodstream.
Even a nice underground music, you know, background music with the Privateers.
We'll pick up a little bit, but not much. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, Michele.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet
Thank you
you
for
too.
hosting me.
This is an interview for Radio Bloodstream, and it's Liverpool-based. But I'm originally from Czech Republic, so I just live in Liverpool now. So I decided to do this. So, Michele, I was just going through your website here, and I'm just so amazed. It's like, okay, so private vocal coach, okay.
Yeah.
then you playing in Caledon, Overture, and Ship in Theseus.
Ship of Theseus.
Ship of Theseus.
Yeah, these are projects.
Right.
Like Overture is an old band that it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Caledon, we actually just released a new record, but it's also a studio band right now. It was a real band back in the days, and Ship of Theseus is a studio project. So yeah.
And then, you know, it's not just it. We just started. Okay, so songwriter, lyricist, and you actually doing some promotion for. I'm not gonna say who, but that's Ibanez, Shure, and so on.
Yeah.
And producer, audio engineer in Groove Studio Factory and Factory Studio, and most importantly, you're a vocalist in Temperance, Era, and Vision of Atlantis.
Yes, correct. Let's say that I devoted my life to
Where are you
music.
getting all the time to do it? It's just
So the truth is that having my own studio, it makes it really easy for me to record vocals for studio projects, and this is how Caledon, Ship of Theseus, and everything they did with Overtures like happened, because it's extremely easy for me. Like the moment in which there is something ready, or we decide to co-write some stuff, like for instance what happened with Ship of Theseus, I just plug my microphone, I sing. I'm at home. My studio is 15 minutes from my home, so it really doesn't take time for me to devote and dedicate myself to this kind of activities. Of course, the biggest issue comes with the actual band, which are Visions of Atlantis and Temperance. And when it comes to Era is basically a huge project that casts musicians, that hires musicians. And for now, we only had 2 tours, like one that happened in 2018 or 19, and one that is upcoming in the next month. So as long as the schedule doesn't create conflicts with Visions of Atlantis and with Temperance, and if I'm available, I just go. Truth to be told, like this year is the busiest, and between all the 3 bands, Visions, Temperance, and Era, I will have a total of 115 concerts.
wow.
It means that one day out of 3 of my life, I'm on stage, which for me is marvelous because this is my life. I started doing this when I was 18.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pleasure, a satisfaction, and an honor. You know, there are so many things.
Okay, now go back. Well, let's go back those 2 years. You know, there was nothing going on, especially in Italy.
Yes.
So, what have you been doing actually?
Writing music.
Writing music. Okay.
Writing music. Yes.
Okay.
During the pandemic, I wrote basically half of Pirates, the record that we are touring for in these days with Visions of Atlantis. I helped with the songwriting and arrangement of the new Temperance, and I also wrote for 2 additional projects. One I cannot mention for secret reasons, and the other one is called She-Wolf. Has been released with Frontiers Records in February or March this year, and like half of the record is written by me. So yeah, I truly took my time to write and produce. So yeah, I totally took advantage of the pandemic.
Yeah, me too. I was able to build a studio finally in my house.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
So some bad sometimes is good. So tell me about a little bit about this new album, actually, because you actually wrote a part of it.
Yeah, this is the album in which
So
I wrote the most.
Why is the pirating? what happened with
Thing
this
is
pirating?
In 2018, when The Deep and the Dark was released, and The Deep and the Dark was we consider it our first record of Visions of Atlantis. Even if Vision of Atlantis is a history that goes back to 2000.
Yes.
And this is actually the 8th record that the band is releasing. In 2016, there was this kind of inner revolution in the band, and the new lineup with Dushi, Herbert, Thomas, and Clementine. And back in the days, there was another singer, Siegfried Sammer. They restarted the cycle, They were even questioning if it would have been worth it to change the name of the band, but of course they stick to Visions of Atlantis. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yes.
But the thing was on the plate. In 2018, the first real album was released, The Deep in the Dark, and it was already like flirting with the pirate team, because there were songs called like Silent Mutiny, a song that we are playing tonight, The Deep in the Dark. And in the video of The Deep in the Dark, it's funny, we had the Yevani's privateers like acting in the story part.
Oh, okay.
So this pirate and ocean and sailing thing was there. Then we went into Wanderers, where still there were so many mentions about the pirate universe and the ocean world. And during the production of Pirates, we just told ourselves, listen guys, we are flirting with this since ages. Why don't we just go all in and we offer something that is 100% consistent and coherent without just, caressing the pirate universe, but without digging into it. Well, we did, and it turned out that it was the best choice we could have done, because I love the pirate universe. I have pictures of myself dressed up as a pirate for, the carnival or for Halloween since... I was 6 or 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There is a picture on my Facebook page of me dressed up as a pirate. So this is something I really love. I'm a huge fan of Monkey Island, Black Sails, Pirates of the Caribbean. So when we took this step, it was like, I feel like I am somewhere I belong to.
I was watching one of the videos, for it's called Hurricane something. With
Master the Hurricane, yes, Master the Hurricane.
It looks like you have so much fun with this.
That's the thing, like acting and putting myself into the. But this is for everyone, putting ourselves into the clothes of a real pirate. This is just so engaging and so funny, and so it triggers some true emotions in us. We love it. We love it.
Okay, so pirates and all the kind of crazy stuff, and so you're doing the music, the lyrics.
Let's say that right now I can tell that I am the main composer for Vision of Atlantis. We already started writing for the new album. This is something.
Cool.
There is something already mixed, for instance, even if of course it will take time to be released. But we already are working on new songs, and basically new songs for now are 90%. My creation, but a lot goes to Clemmy. A lot of credits goes to Clemmy, because she writes all the lyrics, and she wrote the song called Pirates Will Return and Heal the Scars. And then we have a producer on our back that is called Felix Held, and to be honest, he collaborated a lot with the composition of the new songs, and even with the new music, everything passes through. It's like, I would say, he's an extremely good singer, an extremely good guitarist, and he has a nice vision. He is the one who can tell us what works and what doesn't work, and his view really makes a difference. So the team that we have right now, with me and Clemmy writing, like sharing, writing uses, and him overviewing everything and like fixing what doesn't work, brings to light something that we really like.
When you're touring, with the band or with the bands, is something you listen in the music? What kind of music you listen in a bus or in a car when you travel?
So this is a nice question, and the answer is I listen to the music that I'm given to during the show. Like, it happens often that bands come with a CD, or fans, they come with a CD from their own band, and they tell you like, hey, listen to this, it's my music. Listen to this other thing, it's my music.
Really?
And I really love the underground music. I'm a huge fan of the underground scene. I mean, sometimes it's not even underground. Sometimes it's people that that gives you the CD, and you're like, okay, wow, I know your band.
Yes.
And usually I take the chance when I'm on the road to listen to this kind of music, because it's inspiring, Like, it's always nice to have ideas that are not necessarily produced, or not necessarily on the A league, if we can call it like this, because of course when you collaborate with big labels as Nathan can be, or other labels that I work for as a producer, you get so many big names and you get so much music to listen to, that somehow digging into the underground music, it's extremely fun for me. I really like it.
So I have a Michele, one of the composers and lyricists and songwriter.
Lyricist is Clemmy.
Okay, Clemmy. So songwriter for the Vision of Atlantis, most likely. That's what we're talking about today. But he's another two bands, Temperance and Era.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to the when you listen to the music from in a bus. You actually produced maybe one of those. Did you come across it?
It happened.
Did you go back to them?
It happened that some bands that been giving me a demo, for instance, I got interested into them because I found a lot of potential, and we discussed about production. And for some band, it happened. For instance, there is a band called Emetropia. They come from Sweden, and the first approach was like this. They kind of came up with their music to me, and they were like, "Okay, what do you think?" And I told them like, I like it, but I believe that with some refinement here and there, things could work better. And in the end, they just released a CD that I produced. So this happened. There is another cool band called Sandness from Italy. They came to one of my shows. They gave me the CD. I was like, okay, I like those guys, but the production is not something that I really like. No offense to the previous producer, but I felt like something was missing. And it's like the third record now that we're doing together. So this happens. Absolutely, this happens.
I remember now.
Please.
So where did you actually come up with this idea, start singing and producing and stuff? Did you have any background in your family?
No. So it's a funny story. Like, basically, when I was 6 or 7, my mom subscribed me to a piano course. One of these extra scholastic piano courses in which you can start.
Yes, it's on the website here. Yes.
Actually, I think it's written there. Yeah, for
you started piano 7 when you were 7.
Yeah, I was 7, and I kind of felt this connection since the very early days, and when you feel like you belong somewhere and you can't get enough, it's like,
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So I started playing more and more. Then my mom had a classical guitar, and I was like interested into it, so I took it myself. I asked my mom if I could use it, of course.
Yes.
And she was like, yeah, go for it. And I was reading on the internet how to play it, and I was like, okay, I feel like I like this. And then all of a sudden I was in a garage with some friends playing guitars, like as you picture them in the movie, as you picture it in the movies. And one of the guys was like, hey, I like the way you sing. And I was like, I never properly sang before. And we're like, yeah, but I like the way you sing. Why don't you join my band? And this band was actually Overtures.
All right.
And from that moment on, things like kind of brought on, like I was carried from one thing to the other, just following a flow that I couldn't even expect. Like, we started this band Overtures, and we started to play the first shows. Then we recorded the first demo, and I remember I was completely unsatisfied with the sound of the demo.
Yeah.
I was 18 or 19, and I told myself, let's try to see what I can do with the recordings, because I was a nerd back in the days, with a computer nerd. So I downloaded the first version of Cubase. Back in the days, I think it was like Cubase 4, Cubase 5. And I started to dig into this, and I told myself, I like this side too. Let's dig more into it.
Right.
And in 5 or 6 years, I was like recording shit demos for free to the first bands of friends of mine.
Yes.
And then some friends started telling me, hey, you know what? I think this sounds good. Maybe you should try to make it a job. And I was like, okay, let's see. And I started to promote myself. And I remember I was selling my first recordings for 10 euros per hour.
Oh,
it was like,
wow.
Actually, and I was telling everyone, this is not my job. I'm just trying to get into this world. And then, step by step, I found myself with a studio with, big bands and big labels asking me to produce them. So it just went with the flow. And believe me, I'm grateful to the universe for this, because if it's like I dreamt of this life and I'm living it. So it's just wonderful.
Michele, I think that's thank you very much for the honest answers, and I'm really glad to meet you face to face. Is anything else you'd like to add before I let you go?
Well, the thing is that with Visions of Atlantis, we are touring a lot in the next months. There are some tours that will be revealed after this one, of course, and probably will touch pretty much everywhere in the universe.
Very much, yes.
In the world, of course. We don't plan to play Mars or Saturn yet.
Yet.
But if you like our music, or if you don't know it and you want to discover it, I'm sure that we will play close to your country or close to your hometown, hopefully. So just grab a ticket, because live music nowadays, it's hard.
Yes.
Like after COVID, it's extremely hard for bands to tour. We feel extremely lucky. We're having like sold out shows during this tour.
Yes.
And it's something we would have never seen coming. We would have expected to see coming. It's a honor. It's a pleasure. We are so much grateful. So with fingers crossed, this will keep on going this way.
And it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's
And
sold
it's
out
Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
And it's Wednesday. Yeah. So hopefully this will keep on going this way. But if you have the chance to come and see Vision Atlantis, just grab your ticket.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're listening to Radio Bloodstream.